Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. If you're online watching our preview here for the Ladies of Our Legacy sale, this is Russel Pedrett speaking. I've also got Jeff Nemecek from the NSR has come out to help us with this preview and with the sale, and we're very lucky to have him, and he's also going to be commenting on our females that we've got tonight. We have the information listed there for each lot. They're not in order of the lot numbers or anything. We actually do not have a sale order as of yet. They're listed on ShowPig and on the listing there on Kennedy Ventures with lot numbers. But they will not sell in that lot order tomorrow. We will post a lot order for everyone to see, so you'll know what's what, and that'll be very clear. We'll put it up on our Facebook page and as well on the ShowPig page. So this first female we've got is 65-5. If you're following the program on the ShowPig, she would be listed as Lot 8. Again, notch 65-5. She's a different league daughter out of Rowdy Rebound 130-8. Her mom actually raised the Reserve 4-H barrow at the California State Fair last year. That barrow was shown by Reese Vieira, sired by Icon. We got a lot of compliments on that barrow. That was a really good pig, one of our better barrows of the summer last year that was out. And again, that pig was out of the same sow here that this gilt is. That Rowdy Rebound sow, the mom of her, is actually out of the same sow as May We All. So a pedigree here, again, would be different league. Rowdy Rebound, he is what he is, Sunshine and Whiskey, and that grandma would be May We All's mom. Very nice little different league daughter here. We've been trying to stockpile them a little bit. We've got a lot of them, and we are banking on the future of these different leagues. We think that pig was out of the same sow. I didn't do that. That was Blake. But at any rate, we're very excited about these different leagues. This one is bred to Loud and Clear. To be honest, the reason we bought Loud and Clear was we were looking for kind of a logical next step to use on our different league daughters. So that's kind of the thought process here, and I'll let Jeff chime in with his comments on this first one.
Yeah, thanks, Russell, for having me out and involving NSR here. Dropped this first gilt in the ring, and kind of a long age gilt. I think she's a July of 24, a different league daughter there that really has a very unique presence to her. She's got a great look up front, really long from her blade forward, and so correct. And I think sometimes you see these kind of gilts, and you think, man, that's a tall, pretty one. There's not going to be enough punch to her. I challenge you. Watch that one come at you. Look at her blade shape. Get up on top of her, and kind of where we're sitting over here, man, her shape, her spread is really good. She looks like she's carrying a big litter in her, so return on investment should be pretty short in terms of that, but I think a really nice one here to start off the preview.
So this next one coming in here would be 9-10. On the ShowPig listing, she would be listed as Lot 2. Again, 9-10. This is another summer female from last summer. She's first parity gilt. We actually, we've been prepping for this sale for a long time. We kept a large chunk of females from last summer and into our fall litters. And we just held them over to make them their first parity here. Thought process being that we'd have some more success from a customer standpoint, just easier to get some of these females with a little more age and size on them, fared for that first time. And, truthfully, we have a lot of really nice females in the summer, and so we have lots of quality to go through. So this one here's a fun one. We use the Warden boar that is at Southern Gold Sires in Indiana. To make some crossbred litters, wound up with a really nice set of females out of him. We actually have a couple of our Foundation York females we bought from DJ Sanders that are sired by the Warden that we absolutely love, and that was kind of our reasoning we wanted to use that boar. This 9-10 came out of a really strong litter. If there's a lot of opportunity right now if you're looking to make York classifying pigs, if you're looking to make light cross division pigs. All these shows nowadays are going to these light cross divisions. in the Southwest, it's just as competitive and just as easy to sell a really good, solid white one now as it ever has been. We've got to throw a little bit of purebred in these, where we can. And the York breed right now is the breed to do that with. There's more bone and hair in these things than a lot of these other breeds. At least that's kind of been what we've thought. So fun facts about this one here. Her mama's saddle line there that she's out of 3-peat 167.9. We have 3 of those 3-peat daughters. They've been really, really good females for us. Over their last several parities here, I'll give you their data. The dam of this one has averaged 12 born alive, 8.6 weaned over 6 litters. Her 2 sisters, similar numbers, 11.3 born alive, 8.66 weaned, 10.9 born alive, 7.33 weaned over 6 litters. A litter mate sister to this one, just farrowed a litter. October's for us. She had 11, weaned 11, 150 pound, 20 weaning weight on that litter. So for those who are wanting something that can make you a productive female, this one's also likely to do that for you.
Yeah, I think if you just look at this one and just study her, I think you see the maternal value in her. Again, being out of the Warden, that boar probably really needs no introduction, especially from the Yorkshire side. His daughters really generate. This one looks like a female, looks like a lady, and looks like she's really carrying a big litter in her. I think an awfully good one here that if you don't want no holes, no frills, no issues, I think this is one that you could certainly land on.
This next one in here is 21-14. If you follow the listing there on Show Pig, she'd be listed as Lot 4. She's a fun deal. She's a slaps my intention is what her pedigree is. This was a really good litter that she was out of last summer. In fact, it was one of our very best litters. It was a very big litter. She's out of a real productive mama. That my intention sow, and that my intention sow was out of May We All 224-7. Who was a litter mate to the Grand Overall Gilt at CYE in 2021. And then, of course, her mom there, which so would be the grandma here, would be Game of Thrones mom, the Rockstar 196.5 sow. So she goes back to that same great sow line. This female, just very, very functional and very productive in her look, but at the same time, we believe is going to be very capable of raising some winners for you. She's mated to the different League 48 boar that is at Newcastle. We've had a lot of really good pigs out of him this fall. Actually used him as probably as confidently and into as many of our better females as any sire going into this season. Another thing about him, he's a calico boar, but this female's mom just farrowed a litter of those. And they were all belted. And we'd expect, based on what we saw to slaps, we didn't have any calicos or reds out of slaps. She's likely carrying a litter with no red in it because I don't think there's red on this side of the pedigree. So there should be belted and black pigs here. Again, her pedigree, my intention, slaps my intention, may we all Rockstar, and she's bred to different League 48.
Yeah, Russell, I don't think it really matters what color she is, what color the pigs come out, because I think they're going to be good and they're going to be profitable. That gilt strikes me as one that has some quality in terms of her elegance, her look up front, the height, the shoulder. She's one of those very proportional ones in terms of her proportions. Shortness of back, length of hip is still really good. Still good in terms of her feet and legs. I think a nice one here and bred to that very popular different league son.
Next coming in here is 28-6. If you're following along on the Show Pig listing, she'd be listed as Lot 10. She's a very nice female. She's sired by Sunset, which is a Kurt Morgan boar, back on a May We All 224.9. So we just just talked about that female there, was out of 224.7. The 224s have really been the kind of backbone of our herd here last couple years. They're out of course, the great Rockstar 196.5 sow that would be Game of Thrones mom, Game On's mom, and Game Plan's mom. The 224s, have done well. The 224.10, who's still working in our herd, was the grand overall at CYE in 21. 224-3 raised the grand overall at CYE in 2023. And then out of the three sisters, the 224.9, which is actually this one's mom, probably has done the most for us in terms of putting daughters back into the herd. And she's been extremely productive in the process. So again, this one, Sunset, May We All 224.9. Those Morgan boars have worked very well for us. They're kind of line bred around best man. A lot of them are, that kind of goes back to wedding night as well. He was a best man, and if you actually look at the pedigrees, Kurt's really lined them up well. His popular boars now are Sunset and Sunrise. They're litter mates. We've used them quite a bit. We had some of our very best pigs this last year been out of those two boars. Again, this one's sire Sunset. And then on the mama side of this one, got to brag on 224.9 what she's done. Not only she made winners for us, but her average over 9 litters has been 13.2 born alive and 10.3 weaned. And again, that's the mom of this one. So again, lot 10, 28-6.
I think when you just heard there what Russell said about the mom and the litter mates to the mom, just pay attention, get a generator like this here and one that looks like she could go home and raise you a big litter. It looks like she's carrying one, and then just trust the genetics. I mean, knowing what this one's mom has done, 9 litters, and her litter mates, what they've raised, what they've produced, and then being bred to one of those 112 boars, I think there's no guess here. I think just saddle up and buy you one.
So this is 83.3. She's lot 9 if you're following there on Show Pig. Excuse me. Her pedigree would be 51.2 back on in-game 17.8. She's a real nice little female in terms of being one that's shot more moderate and has a lot of muscle. That 51.2 boar was probably the most underappreciated boar that we've made we've made here in the last several years. He winds up at Top Cut. We actually sold him in our Ladies of Our Legacy live event. I believe that was in 21 that we had that here this summer, and sold on live. We always had a lot of faith in that boar. We used him hard, and to be real honest, a couple of our very best barrows last summer, this summer of 2025, sired by that 51.2 boar. He did a phenomenal job. His mom was up down 124.8. That has also made a big lasting effect on our program. She was the Reserve Grand Gilded Arizona several years back that Lexi showed, and is still relevant today. She would actually be out of the same sow family that the mama side of this one is. So this one's mom would be Endgame 17.6 that was out of Jack Daniels 142.4. Well, that 124.8 sow, which was 51.2's mom, was out of that same Jack Daniels sow. So line bred pedigree here, and it's line bred for muscle and shape. The Jack Daniels and Wedding Night stuff obviously had a lot of muscularity in them. 51.2 put a lot of muscle into his pigs. Pin width and so forth, very, very impressive here. We've got her mated a different league, 112.1. Expecting to add some look and some bone and some shag there, and also help that color pattern just a bit. Expect some very, very consistent pigs here, and something that if you're wanting to start a program, pedigree and the way she's mated sure ought to give you a good chance to do something like that.
Yeah, 100% agree with that there, Russell. I think her moderation, her width, her stoutness that she presents, and then with that pedigree there behind her, really looks good. And another thing I want to note, like we don't talk about it much, but her underlying quality is exceptional. I think for a crossbred gilt, you can see that she looks like she's going to be a great mama, looks like a lady, got a good hind leg in her. I think a real nice one there, bred to that 112-1 bore.
This next one coming in here is 15-6. She'd be listed as lot 32 on the show pig listing, and if it doesn't take too much to figure out, the show pig listing just goes by due date. So this girl has a little bit later due date. She's one of our Januaries. She is a family man. Buckle up 2411. So, I hope we don't sound like a broken record about some of these sow lines, but buckle up 2411, which would be this one's mom, is out of Mayweal 224.9. We've already mentioned that sow a few times here. Obviously, it's a very prevalent sow line for us. This is a beautiful little female, I guess I should point out that Family Man, her sire, goes back to that same sow family, as he would be Game of Thrones, back on Game of Thrones' mom, which was Rockstar 196.5. Same mom of the Mayweal 224. So pretty line bred pedigree here, actually. This girl here, again, she's got one of our later due dates. She's got pigs in her. We had our vet here a week ago, scanned everybody. She doesn't look as heavy as some of these others, but remember, she's not due till January. Love her color pattern, love her design. This family man's done a really good job. I'm actually excited to show him in our boar parade tomorrow morning. Study just how good-legged this girl is. She's up on her toes. She's very, very square build off either end of her skeleton, has a great hip and hind leg, and just needs to be bred to a boar that can just kind of make her a bit denser and stouter, and we think that's exactly what Loud and Clear will do here with this mating.
Yeah, the thing I like, Russell, is you're seeing these gilts and potential sows here in a minute in their working clothes. It's what this gilt looks like. And honestly, like a gilt she's a December of 24, we don't need her to be soppy fat right now. I think she's in the right condition, the right shape. I love her build. I love her hind leg. The size of it, the shape of it, the way she utilizes is very, very good. I think a nice one here, if you're looking for a January litter, might ought to look this one up.
This next female in is 56.4. She's listed as lot 11 in the show pig online catalog there. Again, 56-4. She is a Tarantino Outbreak 2054. Tarantino is a boar we used for last summer's litters. Just kind of knowing it would be one of our last opportunities. We'd never used that boar. I talked extensively with Mike McCoy about him the year that I judged at Expo, so I guess it would have been 2 summers ago, and he convinced me we needed to use him. And to be honest, it's as highly as he talked about the boar, I was kind of, amazed that I really thought the daughters and what we've gotten out of him exceeded what Mike, indicated they would be. He knows function and productivity, and these show pig females are probably as good as anyone, and this Tarantino boar really has done a tremendously good job in setting us a set of females aside here, and be truthful. We've kept several as well. We felt like we could go ahead and let loose of this one. Her mom, Outbreak 2054, has been a very productive sow for us and been a very good sow for us. We've kept a lot of daughters out of. She actually goes back to a little different sow pedigree on the bottom side that originated from Heimer. She would have been an Outbreak Prestige on the bottom side there. A lot of swagger there on the very bottom side of that Prestige. But again, sire here, Tarantino. These females have been so good-bodied. They've been so just, loose-structured and productive, and yet at the same time they're stout enough and they're good enough in their design to make stuff that'll win for our customers. This one's mating to Loud and Clear. We think sets you up for success as far as females you can keep out of the litter, and also pigs that should go out and be very competitive.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad to see a Tarantino here because you asked the guys in the Midwest and asked Mike McCoy about the influence that boar has had. There has been a ton of winners the last couple of years that have Tarantino mamas, and here's you a chance right here to get one. Again, another one of those that looks like a lady, height to shoulder, presence, look up front's really good, carrying a big litter of loud and clears. I think a very quick return on your investment here.
So we have 36.6 that just came in, and if you're on Show Pig listing there, she'd be listed as lot 7. She is sunset back on the old 124.8 up down sow. Like I said, that sow has been a big time player for us, and you know, we will get to, we will go through sows here. We have what I would consider a very young sow herd. But these sows that'll generate, you know, we're not afraid to keep them around, and if they're making the best pigs, they're still going to be here. That 124.8 is one of those rare ones that has done that. Like I said, we've got several daughters out of her. I shouldn't say several. I should say, you know, probably more than a dozen daughters out of her, and if you counted great-granddaughters, it would be quite a few. She's the dam of the 51-2 board that was at Top Cut that did a very, very good job. This would be her son. This would be out of her sunset litter from last summer. Again, her notch here is 36.6. Sunset's the board. Kurt Morgan's. He's got a pair of blues, Sunset and Sunrise, that have done a very, very good job for us. We've used them extensively. Kept several daughters back. Probably our winningest pig, or my favorite pig that we made last year, was a Sunrise, which we honestly just kind of tell Kurt, send a Sunrise or Sunset. They're just identical blue boars. But very, very good stuff here. Again, Mama Side's about as good as it's going to get, and we just think this is the type of female that you can do so much with. You want to start a program, get you something to build off of. You know, she's made it as well to this different League 26 boar. We've got a lot of confidence in. Certainly something we think someone can build on.
Yeah, you dropped this one in here, Russell, and I'm like, this one hits me pretty hard in terms of her build, her comfort level up front, the shape to her shoulder. She's set back there in the knee, and yet still has a really good shape to her head. Love her rib cage, her way she utilizes her hind leg, very, very good. I think an awfully good solid black one here. But again, bred to that DL or the different League 26 board that should be incredibly popular. I really like this one here.
$27.11 is in the ring now, which is lot 3. And she would actually also be a Sunset daughter. Like I say, we used very confidently Sunset and Sunrise there at Morgan Genetics, and we just know, you know, Kurt's purpose, or one of his kind of purposes, is to make boars. He does a tremendously good job of it, and if you analyze the pedigrees there, and if you're lucky enough for him to show you those boars at the farm, they're extremely impressive. And typically they'll add power. And that's just what we've kind of you know, grown to over the years, have that relationship with them. We know what we can get out of that program, and it's worked really well on our female base. This 27.11 is out of Junior 147.8. Junior, of course, was the wedding night clone boar that we had here. That honestly, some days we wish we still had. This 147.8 South, she's had a few litters in her time. She's done a very, very solid job for us. That would be the mom of this one. In fact, in her 8 litters, she's averaged 11.25 born alive, 11 weaned, and 123-pound weaning weight. So not too bad for a stout maid, basically wedding night daughter. that's made literally probably dozens of winners if you go to county fairs and jackpot level for sure. So neat pedigree here. There'd actually be quite a bit of best man, and if you dove further into it, probably big shot back in the pedigrees, kind of lined up, especially with the shot of junior there on the bottom side, 27-11.
I think it's pretty easy if you're studying them and you see these sunset and sunrise daughters come in. Boy, they have that kind of pattern, that look, that presence to them, and then bred to those different league sons that just add the extra stoutness and hair. I think this one really hits me pretty hard again in terms of her presence. I love her top line. She's got a beautiful shape there to her back. Shape to her rib is really, really good. I like that one a great deal. Again, that is 27-11.
Well, no doubt one of the more asked about females and just texted about females I've gotten here text-wise on my phone has been this 24-5. Now, there are two 24-5s in the sow sale here in the Legacy sale. This one's listed as lot 6 there in the Show Pig, on Show Pig. Again, 24-5s are notch. Her sire is Sunrise, and she's out of Last Dance 204-6. So Sunrise, again, Sunrise and Sunset are the mate boars at Morgan's. We used quite a bit for last summer's litters, and this 24-5 here is out of that 204-6 Last Dance daughter. The Last Dance 204-6, I encourage you to look up. You can go to our website and look up our auction archives on the bottom of our sales page. Look up our September online sale. The 206 litter was out of this one's mom, and they were sired by Whiteout. They were solid white pigs. Her mom is a predominantly white sow. She's got a couple blue speckles, but that 206 litter she raised was absolutely incredible. It might have been our highest selling litter of the fall. It was definitely our most popular litter of the fall, and there was 4 or 5 barrows that sure looked like they could go out and try to win York Division there at San Antonio or Houston. Very, very good mama that she's out of. Her pedigree she was a Last Dance wedding night. Out of the hired man. Last Dance wedding night hired man would be the mama's pedigree there. Very, very impressive female just to look at. Aside from what her pedigree is, we think she's a balanced female. We think she's got a really good hip and hind leg. We think her design and her look up front's very impressive. She's got a belly full of pigs here that are going to be sired by heavyweight, so they should be chromed up. He should add some rib and some cage to her and should be a really neat little litter for someone.
Well, it's probably pretty easy to see why you gotten a few texts on this one. When she sticks her nose through the gate, it takes a while before her shoulder comes in. That's a wild-looking one up front. Height the shoulder, look, just very, very different. I think if you want to try to make a show bearer that looks like a champion, this one looks like she can do that. I like this one a great deal. Probably my favorite so far that's dropped in, Russell. I really pretty intrigued by that one and the way she's made it.
This 32.9 that just came in has been another one that's been popular, and I've gotten a lot of calls on, and there's been a lot of interest, and I believe this sale, for whatever reason, we didn't plan it, but we sure have a lot of really nice, cool blue mark pigs for those that are looking for light cross division type females or females that can make light cross winners. There's a lot of options in here for you, and one of the better ones, no doubt, is this 32.9. She is listed as lot 12 on the Show Pig site there, and she's another Sunrise daughter. Like I say, we've had a lot of confidence in these Morgan boars. They've done us really, really well. Sunrise, like I say, he raised he sired that champion barrow we had at the Kootenai Classic this year. That barrow was absolutely incredible. He's biggest legged, probably the hairiest legged hog that I saw all year. Had some feet issues for the Miller family that got him, and he really didn't get to show much at all. I think he hit one jackpot as a little pig, and he winds up at Kootenai, and just was in his own league there. That was a Sunrise pig. And again, that's the sire here. Dam here is OCD 124.11. She's a sow that we raised here that was out of a Shine Again sow. Very, very productive on the bottom side. Like I say, we think this one can make some really fun blue pigs, and she certainly made it that way to the different league 112 one bore. We think he should not only compliment her, but certainly give you some real fun blue pigs to sell.
Yeah, drop this blue belted one in, and that blue deal, the light division, is just gaining popularity. Most of the shows around the country have that division, and then yet when we drop them back in, the champions of the light division with the blacks or the darks, them things are just as competitive. And I'll challenge you. I think this is probably the biggest armed gilt that's been in here so far. That one's got a good shape to her blade. Got a big forearm laid into her. Still look up front's really good. Length of hip is awesome in that one. I think an awfully good blue belted one here.
This next female coming in here is 23-10, and she would be listed on Show Pig, I believe, as Lot 5. Yes, Lot 5. Again, she is 23-10. There are two of these 23-litter females. 2311 we'll show you here in a little bit. Pedigree is Next Play, in-game 2015. The in-game 2015 sow is a really important one here to us. Her mom is the great Jack Daniels 142.4, so it's honestly taken us a couple years to realize just the influence that those Jack Daniels 142.4 and 142.2 sows had on our program. But if you go back, and especially if you look at the better females that we've got here at the farm, you're going to find those two, or one of those two Jack Daniels sows in a lot of the pedigrees here. So again, the pedigree here on this sow is Next Play, in-game Jack Daniels Wedding Night. Very, very good female line that she's out of. This one has always been a real fun one to look at. She was one of our very best keeper gilts from that set. Always had a lot of muscle, always had kind of a sharper neck and jaw on her, always had a bigger pin set and just lots of power and muscle working through her, yet still kind of has that real dark pigmented hair, good hair texture, just squareness of builds, maintains very, very good. So she's bred to different League 26. We have a lot of confidence in that boar and think that he's probably the most similar to his sire out of any of the sons. Expect a very valuable litter here in this one.
I think you, again, drop this one in, and you want one that's got something to her. You probably ought to like this one. Her shape to her shoulder, back shape, hip shape's really, really good. You can see the muscle working in her, but it doesn't hinder her at all. She's got a big rear leg, big front foot. I like that gilt quite a bit. And, again, bred to another different league son. A really, really good one here.
This is 66-7, and she would be listed as Lot 1 on Show Pig. So the very top one that you find there when you go to the page. And she's been a real fun one. She's been one we've fielded a lot of comments on, and she's been one that's just real easy to kind of love. One thing that I've noticed about her is I think she just looks exactly like her mom did. And her mom was the champion gilt at CYE, champion crossbred gilt at CYE in 2022. That was shown by Michaela Scortino here. And the pedigree on this one would be Family Man. Again, back on that sow that was a kill shot, may we all. And we called her Chanel, was what her name was. So family men back on Chanel. There's photos, if you scroll through there, of Chanel, and it's uncanny, even just the markings on her back there. This female looks just like Mama did. We actually sold Chanel last summer she was pegged for the Ladies of Our Legacy summer sale, and we wound up putting her in the Bred for Success sale that JD puts on there on Show Pig. She sold to the Four family in Ohio, and she turns around and she raised the reserve champion market gilt at the Ohio State Fair this year. This one's Mama did. So very fun little female. She's bred to Loud and Clear. I'd expect her to have some belted pigs and also probably some blue cool colored pigs like this one. Expect that mating to be very, very good. As far as adding some extension and look for Loud and Clear, I think this female can do it. And Loud and Clear pigs have been really, really stout.
Yeah, I think, again, you can see why you got some phone calls. I saw this picture, again, being Lot 1 on Show Pig. That's the first one you're going to see, and I was intrigued to see her in person. And I think the thing's just comfort levels off the charts. The way she's built, the way she's proportioned is second level. I think just an awfully good one. Height the shoulder, the way her neck ties in there at the top of her blade. I think everything just fits and balances well. You can hear the pedigree behind her. I think bid with confidence on that one.
This next female in here is 133-6, and if you're following along on the Show Pig page, she'd be lot 27 on that page. Again, 133-6. She's sired by Savior, a boar that is at RW Genetics in Texas, back on American Spirit 140-9. We used that Savior boar for quite a few litters there in our October and November pigs of last year, and this girl would be an early October out of that group. And we used that Savior to make some females, and I think he did a really, really solid job of siring just that kind of female kind of look as far as their center body. This one's got a big old giant barrel rib working in her, real good hip and hind leg, and just looks like a Show Pig mama. She's got stoutness. She's the right color. She's the right frame size, and it's something that's gonna go ahead and generate for folks, or at least we believe that she is. Again, pedigree being Savior, American Spirit 140-9. This one actually had a sister. Jax Neuenschwander showed there in Oregon this year and hit most of the jackpots, and she gathered up quite a few banners. They called her JJ. And then actually the dam here, being American Spirit 140-9, had a littermate sister that raised the Neuschwander's gilt that showed last year, which would have been 2024. They called Jules. That was absolutely incredible and won quite a bit. And so when they got this one that looked like that one, they called her JJ. And again, that's a sister to this one. But very, very good stuff here. All the mates were extremely good and popular, and obviously had some show ring success. She is mated to different League 112-1, which is our blue boar there that is very, very sharp looking and has a lot of muscle and power, and we think that should be a tremendously good first mating for her.
Yeah, we've been on a run of quite a few of those bred for middle of November here, or here in a couple of weeks, and this one's due the middle of December, right there in the heat in the Midwest of when those very, very competitive show pigs need to be born. I think this one here, like Russell said, I love her rib cage. She's a very boxy, very proportional gilt. It's got plenty of stoutness to her. Bred to that different League 112-1 boar only adds to her value. I think a real nice one here due in the middle part of December.
Lot 23 is coming in next, and it would be 23-11. I shouldn't say lot 23. If you just are tuning in, she's listed as lot 23 there on Show Pig, but we will have a sale order posted tomorrow. They're not going to sell in that same order that they are on Show Pig. So stay tuned for that. We will post that everywhere so you can see. But at any rate, this is 23-11. We showed you her sister just a little bit ago, that 23-10. So the pedigree here being next play on in-game 2015. That in-game 2015 sow is top 2 or 3 sow here at Ottenwater Show Pigs, at least if you're asking me. And she'd be out of the really impressive Jack Daniels 142-4 sow, who, if you go back through just the very elite females here at our place, you're going to find that sow in a very large percentage of them. We think this one can be really fun. She's made it a little different way than her sister. She's probably a little bigger bodied than her sister, and I think she's probably also just a little stouter featured than sister. Sister got more muscle and has that really, really neat look. This one doesn't have a bad look by any means, but she does have more body and just stoutness. She's made it to the Different League 61. We're really excited for folks to see him tomorrow. He really hadn't had a lot of folks get to view him. But we used him very hard. He's probably the stoutest bone out of all the different leagues. He comes in a really moderate package and brings a lot of power, and we think this mating here can be some real fun pigs to sell.
Yeah, I think her sister looked more like maybe a Barasire or generator, and this one looks like a female generator. Her look up front, her shape to her rib, just her smoothness and her pattern looks really, really impressive. And again, I'm excited to see that 61 board tomorrow because I think the stoutness and the extra fuzz that he's going to offer will really accentuate this one's proportions that she has. Again, I like this one a good deal as well.
This is 138-3, Lot 20, listed as Lot 20 there on the Show Pig site. She's got a December 12 due date, and she is bred to Different League 61. One thing to note that we are probably some of us might be missing the boat, and we're guilty of it, is these Different League dogs are going to be very, very valuable. We sometimes don't realize what we have until it's too late, and Different League is not making good semen anymore. We're actually selling some frozen semen on him in the offering tomorrow, and so we're hoping our time hasn't passed to really utilize him, and it makes the guy think, oh shoot, I hope I used him enough. He was a boar we used just a little bit when we first got him, and then basically all of our best pigs were out of him, and then we kind of turned him loose, and luckily we were able to do that. But you just wonder, hey, did I use him in the right spots? I'll tell you, I think it's a very good idea to have some Different League daughters in production. This one here is out of probably the very best Different League litter we had last fall. It's a great tool to go on our site, click on the sales page, scroll down to below the sales, and you can, below the current sales schedule, and there's an archive. You can see all the sales we've ever had. Click on the January sale of 2025, and you can find this one's mates that were all offered there. It was a very, very deep litter, extremely good Different League pigs. They sold really well. They went all across country, and they did extremely well for folks. Again, her notch is 138.3. Her mom, Buckle Up 24.6, is probably our best Buckle Up daughter. She's out of Mayweall 224.9, and she's had. I put some stats up for you on her. That sow has had averaged 13 born alive and 11 weaned in her first 2 litters. So not only is she productive, but obviously makes very nice pigs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Russell, on Different League. Having a daughter in production, I think, is very, very valuable. Out here where you're at, everybody probably knows Different League. In the Midwest, we know of him. Not very many people have probably seen him. When I saw him this summer, I'll just tell you, that's probably one of the most impressive mature boars that I've seen in quite some time. And it's a shame that his semen's not good right now, but I would say you probably ought to land on a daughter here, and one that you can see his hip and hind leg in her. The shape to it, the size of it, the length of her upper hip is really, really good. I think a very valuable prospect here. Again, another one of those is due there mid-December. So, again, we got a little more time on her, but a real nice one here in 138-3.
$144.10 has just come in, which would be listed as lot 29 there on Show Pig. She's another, I mentioned earlier we have a lot of really good blue females in the sale here. If you're looking at an opportunity to lay into a light cross deal, there's a plethora of different females, and it's just kind of pick your poison or pick more than one, because we're not sure which one to tell you is the best one. This one very well could be the best one of them all. She's a female. To be honest, I was very, very hesitant to offer because I think her genetic value can be really, really good. Again, 144.10. She's sired by Savior, back on Game On 135.8. She is a litter mate to the grand overall at the Jackson County Fair this year. For those of you in the Midwest, that probably doesn't mean much. If you're out here in the West Coast, everybody knows what Jackson County Fair is. It's the toughest, biggest county fair in Oregon. Likely one of the toughest in the western United States. Lots and lots of kids. They have a tremendously good premium sale there. Lots and lots of kids try to win that, and a lot of those animals hit all the jackpots there in Oregon, in the Northwest, before they wind up at that fair. This one's brother won it all. Ryan Rash was the judge. He termed the barrow electric blue when he picked him. He was this kind of same color. He actually won a jackpot a couple weekends before that as well. Had a very successful show career. Very nice female here in the litter. We tell you she actually is probably more moderate and probably bolder ribbed than her brother was. Has a big pin set and has a lot of power. There was always a lot of power throughout those Saviors. We had quite a few of those. He made some very, very thick pigs, and this one looks like that for sure. She's made it a different league, 112-1, and certainly would expect him to sharpen her up a bit and maintain that color pattern and probably add even just a shot more bone and stoutness.
Yeah, again, another one of these that's due here in the mid part of December, and I think you could see the resemblance or what probably the Barra looked like that won that county fair, because her shape, I think you could just get her whip broke and she's ready to go to the ring. Like her shape from behind, her spread there from her hock down is very, very appropriate. I like that rib cage in her really well. I think a Gilton, again, bred to 112-1. When I saw him this summer, I was blown away by him. I think that's an extra good matchup there. Again, that dark blue one, 144-10.
This is 106.7, and if you're on ShowPig's site there, she's listed as lot 25. She is different league, back on May We All, 224.10. She's a very impressive female. She's actually, her mom, the 224.10 sow, was the grand overall gilt at CYE in 2021. She's turned around and made a tremendous female for us, and of course we talked about her and her sisters here already several times, but her one sister turns around and raises the grand overall gilt at CYE in 23. That was the 100,000 record seller at that particular event. And their dam, so this one's grand dam, would be a Rockstar 196.5, which is Game of Thrones' mom. This one here does look more sowy than, and honestly, that's how that female line looks. Those 224s look sowier. They're bigger in their kind. They're big barrel rib kind of females. They're opened up real good in terms of just chest width, and their stoutness and just true heaviness of structure is very, very impressive. This one kind of follows that female line, and that's why we think she's going to be such a good generator, like her mom and her mom's sisters have been. Sired by Different League. Different League typically makes more moderate pigs that have a lot of bone and muscle. And for one to have this much extension, and you know that's coming from that sow family, she's going to just generate very, very well. We've got a lot of confidence in this one here. One thing we didn't note, I forgot to put it on our description there that's listed on Show Pig, but her littermate brother was lot 1, would have been in the January sale. You can go back and look him up. That was one of the better barrows we sold this last year. Was an extremely good animal. So again, she's listed as lot 25. Her notch is 106.7. She's bred back to different league 112.1, which actually lines up the different league a little bit. But we sure think just phenotypically that's going to be a tremendously good mating.
Yeah, I think you hear Russell talk about genetics a lot, and we talked about that those 224 sows, and then bred or out of different league, bred to a different league. You just trust the process here. I think one that has some extra elevation to her, but yet doesn't sacrifice the stoutness that's known for here out at Alton Walters and the different leagues. I think a gilt that really has a tremendous value just from a genetic standpoint, but then you add her phenotype in and what she's bred to. I think one is, again, a kind of a no-miss, kind of a bred gilt here.
This next female coming in is 50-10. She's listed there as lot 15 on Show Pig. And she's one that I don't want you to miss. She maybe doesn't have as striking of a photo as some of the others. Maybe you like it. It didn't strike me quite as much as some of the others, but this one here is a really fun gilt. She's the type that, that as a show gilt would probably get along about anywhere she goes. And yet she's still built really well and the type that is going to generate. Her pedigree is all out war back on Endgame 17.6, and that's the type of pedigree that gets along as well. And when I say type of pedigree, I mean all out war being a tricked out son back on an Endgame type female. If you look at a lot of the champions out there that have won the last several years, that basic pedigree, tricked out next type stuff on the top and end game kind of type stuff on the bottom has lent to a lot of success. Easy to see the quality in this one here. I think the video maybe at least the way she looks to me right here maybe advertises her a bit better even than the photo does, but she's very, very fun. One thing I'll note on this one, her mom is in game 17.6. We've mentioned her a couple times. She's out of the Great Jack Daniels 142.4. 17.6 has had 3 litters. Had 3 litters for us. She's averaged 12 born alive and 10 weaned on those 3 litters. So not only does this one look like a pretty good show gilt, but she's going to have a chance, hopefully, to be as productive as her mom.
Yeah, you mentioned in-game, and I haven't talked about it. We've mentioned that a few times on the south side, and that boar's just pretty much timeless in what he's been able to do. He's been around for a while, been gone for a little bit, but the impact that we will still see for several years on the south side is very, very important. And this one hits the ring, and I'm like you, Russell. I'm like, hey, you better pay attention. This one's got some presence. She's got some build. She's got bone. She's got hair. She's got look. She's got shape. And then with that kind of pedigree, I think you better pay attention and see where this one ends up.
This next one in here is 182-3, lot 26, and she's another one we'd say, hey, make sure you don't miss this one. This one here is a color pattern, and especially just the way she's kind of photoed it. It maybe doesn't show her off as good as what she truly is. She's a kind of a roan, I would call her a roan-colored female, and actually very, attractively colored. if you're in for that. And she kind of just looks like a white female there on the photo. So study this one here. She's a heavyweight, hands to yourself, 193.5. Again, she's 182.3, and she's listed as lot 26 there on ShowPig. She's a very, very nice female. We had a lot of heavyweights this year. We used our own boars real hard for our winner of, I guess, would have been 2024, 2025 litters. Heavyweight sired a large percentage of our winners out of that group. We're excited to show him off tomorrow. He still looks like $1 million as a yearling boar now. And again, dam side here would be hands to yourself, 193.5. Her mom actually was colored very similar to her. She was a more moderate framed, rather heavy muscled kind of female that did a very good job for us. And she was actually out of Square Edge 8510. That was the champion market gilt at the Nebraska State Fair a few years back. That 8510 sow was extremely good, and she was one we lost early in her years. This one here's mom, again, 193.5, average 10.2 born alive and 9 weaned over 5 litters. So also capable of getting the job done in the crate. Again, she's listed as lot 26, and her notch is 182-3.
Again, a calico here to mid-December, and like you said, Russell, I think she hits me pretty hard. I think in terms of her balance, her build, I like her skull shape, her shape to her arm. Just the condition that she's in is ideal. It doesn't get cold here in California, does it? Like, that gilt is hairy. Like, her picture doesn't show it, but man, her hair coat, she is so dense haired. I think one that really looks like she could generate some really high dollar barrows.
Uh, 139.5 is in the ring here. She's listed as lot 24 there on the Legacy sale on the Show Pig site there. Again, another gilt. A lot of these gilts are October, November from last year. This one here is in early October, and she is due 12-13 to heavyweight. Her pedigree, different league, Game of Thrones 47.6. That Game of Thrones 47.6 sow that this one's out of was a really, really fun little sow that was out of Badman 51-1. Badman 51-1 would have been the mom of Rowdy Rebound and also the mom of BR 64-1. So those were two boars got utilized a lot within our program. Because of that Badman 51-1 sow has found herself into the pedigree, more so on the top side. On a lot of stuff around here. In this case, she's on the bottom side of this one because her mom was, again, Game of Thrones back on 51-1. So impressive a female here. It's actually a shorter pedigree to get to the good stuff. So if you go back past 51-1, she was out of No Mercy's sister, who was out of Perfect Remedy 4-8. That was the stuff we originally kind of started with. It's all very line-bred and intensely line-bred super monster. That 51-1 sow did that because she was so stout. And that Badman boar that we had here, who was a hillbilly bone super monster, was just way ahead of the game as far as bone and hair at that stage. And you can even just kind of see that look in this female because I just remember those females. She looks like that grandma. She even looks like that Badman in terms of just the way her bone is constructed, the way her front arm is constructed. So she's bred to heavyweight. We think that's an ideal first mating, and she is 139-5.
Yeah, this dark red belted one comes in, and she intrigues me. I think she has some very far-reaching pieces in terms of her stoutness, her look. She's very, very extreme looking up front in terms of her jawline, how tight she is there in her neck, and then it's got a great big forearm laid into her with hair dropping off of it. great big rear leg. She's a little thinner in terms of her condition, but again, like I talked about one of them earlier, I kind of prefer that. I like that because I don't see near as many issues when it comes to farrowing time. That gilt doesn't have fat on her. She's just ready to go to work. Boy, but out there in terms of some of those out there pieces, really like that dark red belted one.
This next one here is 17110. She's listed as lot 36 on the Show Pig site, and she's actually one of our 2 February litters. So, everything in the sale has been ultrasounded with the exception of the 2 Februarys. This one's due date is February 6th. She's obviously not far enough along to go ahead and ultrasound, but she did just pass over here the other day. We're passing over that February group. The buyer, if you'd like, we're more than happy to go ahead and hang on to her and ultrasound her. Our vet's coming back on Wednesday, and she likely should be just fine by that point to go ahead and confirm a pregnancy. So just want to be upfront with you on everything. She is a heavy hitter, hands to yourself, 183.10. We have a lot of heavy hitter sows, and frankly, we think that we use that boar and we really, really hard, and he got a lot of our better sows, such as 183.10. This one's mom, and we know that's kind of the next step, and we think this one here can really, really generate well. Her mom, 183.10, is actually in the crate right now. She's probably our best hands to yourself daughter. Hands to Yourself was a boar we bought from TKO Genetics that was bred by Trogdon. Was a littermate to Endgame. And I'll say that again, Hands to Yourself was a littermate to Endgame. We had him here. We used him extensively. Got a lot of really good daughters out of him. Got some champion barrows out of him as well. But the female perspective that he gave us there, it was absolutely phenomenal. Again, I said this one's mom's in the crate. She just farrowed the other day. She's had 7 parities. She's averaged 12.14 born alive, 11.5 weaned, and 155-pound weaning weight. And, we didn't used to keep track of all of that stuff really well. We have sow cards that do that for us, but the last couple years we've started keeping track, and 155-pound weaning weight's fairly large. You won't see that on show pigs a whole lot. So what that means is mama milks her pigs very, very well. This one you can see has got a little more extension to her. She's tall-fronted. She's yet at the same time pretty stout-featured, and she's got a longer neck to her. She will absolutely make killer pigs with different league 112-4, I promise you, and that's who she's bred to.
Yeah, I think all you got to say is heavy hitter bred to 112-4, and then know that heavy hitter's just as relevant today in winning shows as he was a couple of years ago. And here we got a 2-year-old sow, and out of that heavy hitter boar bred to 112 and then built the way she is, I think just saddle up, buy you one, and then reap the benefits whenever she farrows. Again, due there in February. So those of you in the Midwest wanting some February litters, I'd look in right here.
This next one in here is 20-3, lot 35. She is the only lot in the sale we do not have a photo of. So if you go to her lot there, which is down at 35 there on Show Pig, it just has a picture of 112-1, which is the boar she's bred to. We tried a couple times. She just had no interest there. Sometimes, our sows are in the barns in the back that are all, concrete pens, and we haul them up to the grass to take photos, and they just, some of them don't know what to think of that, and this one here just didn't want to do it for us. But as you can see, I think she would have took a pretty good photo if we could have got that done. Honestly, it was on the list to get done this week, and we just, we didn't take the time to do that. She's another February bred, so that we only have the 2 February breds this time. She's due February 6th to different league 112-1. She actually got a third dose of 112.4. So here's what we'd tell you: if there are no blue pigs in the litter, they're likely sired by a different league, 112.4. If there's a blue pig in the litter, they're definitely sired by 112.1. Very fun fact about this sow: she is out of Last Dance 53.7, who's one of the top 2 or 3 females here on the farm. We absolutely love 53.7. If you're scrolling through there on ShowPig, I encourage you to scroll through the photos of this one. There's a photo of her mom. She's absolutely incredible. She would also be the grandma of the different League 112. So this litter would actually, intensify that sow. And 53.7, fun fact, is out of Jack Daniels 142.4. So, we just kept coming across. It was actually pretty eye-opening for me as I was just going through writing descriptions and seeing stuff, how many times we came across that 142.4. Fun process to go ahead and learn about. Last thing I'll tell you, look at the archives on our sales. Look at the March sale. This sow had a litter of different leagues that sold extremely well. I think I included some photos there on the description on the Show Pig site as well for you to see what she had. Very good female, 20-3.
We're on these 2 February litters back to back, and again, I was excited to see this one because we didn't have a picture of her, but being a major league daughter that's built like this has a tremendous value. Like her build, if you're watching, whether you're here or you're online, reach out to us if you really want to know our opinions, because this one's build is timeless. Like the shape to her hip, hind leg, the way she utilizes that is ideal. The size of her rear leg is really, really big. Comfortable up front with big toes. Again, a major league daughter here, bred to one of the 112s. Either way, it's going to be good. I like that one a lot. 20-3.
This is 186.8. She's lot 34 listed there on the Show Pig site. And she's been a popular one. We've had a lot of comments and just questions about this one. She's one of our January due dates, so she's due on January 4th. Her pedigree is Family Man Endgame 153.8. So, again, Family Man Endgame 153.8, and her notch is 186-8. Excuse me, sorry. Her mom, again, 153.8. We're actually offering her mom's sister in the online event we have on Tuesday on the 11th. This is kind of the second chance sale. Her mom and her sisters were mates to the boar we called Mr. Shag. We sold in the exchange a few years ago that wound up at Southern Gold Sires. He was obviously an in-game son that was very popular and just had that same kind of dark pigmentation and just big legs and lots of shag. Was one of the better in-game sons, in our opinion, that made it out there. Again, sire here, Family Man, intensifies that because Family Man was a Game of Thrones, who, of course, was an in-game. Bred to different League 26 here on the bottom side, or excuse me, as the service sire. Certainly anticipate some really neat things to come out of that litter. Whether you want some keeper gilts or something to show, you probably can get both out of that deal.
Yeah, I think when you said in-games kind of on both sides of the pedigree there, that gilt looks like an in-game in terms of her rib cage, just her proportions, her balance, her build. So timeless that you can reach for the stars and use something way out there and she'll still keep you in bounds, or breed her to something that looks like her and just keep all the gilts out of there. Again, that's 186-8.
We've got 165-9 that's coming in now, and if you're on the show pig page, she's listed as lot 33. She'd be a different league daughter, another opportunity at a really good different league daughter, and she's another one of our January matings or litters, so she's due on January 3rd. Again, she's listed as lot 33. This is 165-9, so she's different league back on Foresight 90-6. Foresight 90-6 is one of those females that's stuck around a little bit. She's had, I think I have it listed on here. She's in the crate now with litter number 11. So she's had 11 litters, and like I said, we believe we're a firm that turns over our sows pretty quick. If they're not good enough, they're kind of hitting the road. So for a sow to hit 11 litters here, she must be pretty good. And I tell you, probably the reason that 90-6, this one's mom, is still here and is that good is because she's out of Jack Daniels 142.4. So again, I kept coming across that as I was doing those descriptions, and I thought, it's interesting that a sow can be gone and you're still learning about her. But again, here, different league, Foresight, Jack Daniels 142.4. This one here had a good show career. She went up to Idaho. She showed for the Mill Iron family up there. They're customers of ours, have shown for several years. Dustin Andrus helps them, and this one won her county fair. I think she won several shows before she hit her county fair. Comes back to us. Obviously, she's a very attractively marked, kind of chromed up, different league daughter. Fun fact about her mom, the 90-6 sow, she is the grandma of different league 61. So she's got some of these tricked out daughters, two of them, in fact, that are kind of our better daughters out of tricked out. That one of them, the 39.9, raced different league 61. In those 11 litters, 90-6 has averaged 8.4 born alive, 9 weaned, and 104 weaning weights. So very impressive mama side there.
Yeah, I think if you listen to Russell and talk about the mom there on her 11th parity, that ought to tell you something. Then she's out of different league. That ought to tell you something again. Regardless of what she looks like, she's valuable. Then you study the gilt, and that's about as impressive as one that's been in here, and yet she was a show gilt. She looks like it. Her look up front, height the shoulder, proportions, bone, flexibility, good pasturing gilt. I think one that's got tremendous return on investment here.
If you want to know which ones are show gilts, just ask Harley, the girl driving them here, because she can tell pretty instantly when they see the whip there what happens with them. And this one here in the ring is 112.8. She's listed as lot 31 there on Show Pig, and yes, she was a show gilt as well. She's a litter mate to the barrow that wins the Kootenai Classic. We talked about him a little earlier, that was sired by Sunrise, obviously, and that barrow was just absolutely incredible. I wish I could showcase him, and honestly, I wish more people would have got to see that pig. He had a foot injury, and he just didn't get to show very much. And the one show he goes to, he was just, that much ahead of the rest of them. Just huge legged, and just so neat. So now here's the fun part about this one. My boss bought this one's bought this one's mom from Decker Show Pigs online because he's studying their sale, and he finds this mama that is out of and I'll read it to you so I don't screw it up. She is out of Buckle Up, back on Tricked Out Sister and Wildside's mom. So I'll read that to you again. Mama side here is Buckle Up, back on Tricked Out Sister and Wildside's mom. So Mark buys this female, and she's photoed there on there. So if you're look on that lot 31 and then scroll to those additional photos, she's absolutely beautiful to look at. We're absolutely fortunate to get her bought. We breed her to Sunrise, has one litter of pigs, and this one's out of that litter. And, of course, includes that barrow, who was one of our higher sellers of the year, winds up just being incredible. And then we can't get her bred back. She has a little bit of a problem with retained pig or something. We think we get that fixed, and then all of a sudden we just find her dead in the barn one day. So sometimes that's how raising pigs works. But absolutely special mama that this one's out of. Maybe one we probably shouldn't sell. You study the way she's built. I mean, I don't got to tell you what she looks like. You're seeing her there on the screen, but she's a very, very nice female. 112-8 is her notch.
Again, when you dropped this one in and you said she's a sunrise, which we've seen a lot of those sunrise and sunsets, and she resembles that, then you say the south side of that pedigree and what that is, that's valuable regardless of what the gilt looks like. And then she is so balanced. Love her hip and hind leg, the way she utilizes it. Those of you that are here, when you watch that gilt walk away from you, she shows you her heel. Like, she is so good and so comfortable. She shows you the backside of her foot, doesn't miss a step, has look, has shape. She's got more than enough to her. And then Bred, the 61 bore there, I think a very, very exciting litter coming.
Harley says we got another show gilt here in the ring, and she's not wrong. This is listed as lot 30. She is 21-4. Again, listed as lot 30, 21-4. Her pedigree would be Family Man, Endgame 17-6. Again, that would be kind of a line-bred Endgame pedigree there. Family Man, of course, was a Game of Thrones who was sired by Endgame. We use Family Man a lot, probably the most out of any sire for the winter of 24 and spring of 25 pig crop. The boar did a great job for us. He did a good job of keeping belted pigs, making belted pigs, which sometimes is a challenge for us here at Ottenwater Show Pigs to get belted pigs. He did a great job of keeping square-built, good-legged pigs, and he's just the kind of boar you can go ahead and breed to, you know, some of those gilts, those first parity gilts that maybe have a lot of power, maybe have a few flaws. You know, he's going to kind of fix their feet and legs. You know, he's going to keep your color right and give you a good design, and he'll still keep some muscle in them as well. You know, to study this one from the side and what she is, I think she's very similar to kind of what I just said. She's good built. Her feet and legs are great. She's up on her toes. She's got a good hip and hind leg. She's still got some muscle shape and has a nice look. And again, with that kind of consistency bred into her pedigree, Family Man Endgame, you know, the bottom side of that Endgame, 17-6, you might guess, is out of Jack Daniels 142-4. I think there's going to be a lot of consistency here. Then she's made it to different League 61. I think you're going to have some fun pigs to sell, hopefully born on January 2nd.
You're right. You dropped this one in. You said her pedigree, and you said in game 17-6. I'm like, wait, we've had one out of that one before. That was 50-10, and one of those ones that I started, that all-out war gilt that was just from the summer farrowing. This one's from the winter farrowing. You can see the resemblance just in terms of their shape, their look, their build. I think this one, again, being Family Man daughter, just tremendous in terms of her flexibility, comfort level, and then Bred to DL61. Again, a very good opportunity to get a quick return on your investment here.
So coming in now is 136.7. She was lot 13. You think she was a show gilt, Harley? She was not a show gilt. She's got it right. So far, she's 100%. This one never left the farm. Again, she's listed as lot 13. Her notch is 136.7. She's sired by Modern Day, back on Rowdy Rebound 51.9. So Rowdy Rebound 51.9, a very impressive little female. She's actually a litter mate to 51.8. who is the mom of different league, 112-1, 112-4, and 112-8, who are seeing a lot of service, a lot of use here at our farm. The 51-9, this one's mom, was actually the more impressive show gilt. She won the Cornhusker Showdown, which is a big event there they do in Nebraska. They invite all the county fair winners and bring them all together in a big event. And she won that, I would say 2 years ago. It would be this one's mom won that show. So at any rate, and again, sire modern day is a little different deal there. He's actually a line bred boar himself. He was there at at Evans there at 66 Ventures there in Oklahoma. Used him quite a bit for last summer's litters, and he was another boar that did a good job of making good belted pigs for us. Added some power, kept her design well, and that's what this female represents. Her mom, 51.9, is out of Last Dance 53.7, who we've talked about a couple times now tonight. She's a top 2 or 3 sow on the farm, and of course she was out of Jack Daniels 142.4. So impressive female here. Made it a different league, 112.4.
Yeah, this modern day daughter drops in, and it doesn't matter if she's a show pig or was one or is not one. Like, she's going to make them, because I think if you just study her in terms of her build, height the shoulder, length of back, length of hip, and the way she utilizes her hind leg, they're going to make sellable pigs all day long. And then again, bred to the 112.4 bore just adds the value there. She looks like she's carrying a good litter for mid-December. I think another one of those that just reads like good quality female here. Good hind leg, really, really flexible.
So in now is 176.1, who would be listed as lot 28 there on Show Pig. And this is a important female to us. She's one that's stuck around. She's actually carrying her 4th litter, so she's had 3 litters for us. And she's out of the sow we called Dory, the 142.2. So I'm sorry I keep mentioning 142.4 and 142.2. But just as we go through it, that seems to be the same sow line that everybody's out of here. This one's mom, again, 142.2. We called her Dory. She raised the Grand Gilt, or the Reserve Grand Gilt there at Arizona Nationals in 2019, which became our 124.8 sow. That was 51.2's mom, and the mom of a lot of other stuff here. This female would be out of, I believe, Dory's last litter. It was either her last or her second last litter. Her sire is BD 40-1, who of course was the boar we studied there at Top Cut, and she would be pretty intensely line bred if you lined up both legs of her pedigree there. As far as how much Super Monster would be in her pedigree, it would be an awful lot, and both legs of the pedigree would go back to the same sow family here on our, the Ottenwater Show Pigs Perfect Remedy 4-8 sow family. On 3 of the 4 legs of her pedigree would be that. So she's bred to American Gangster. This female here is, just a good example of, I guess, what you'd kind of just find floating around the barns here at the farm, as far as not only what her pedigree and who she is, but also just her general build being so correct, being very good in terms of feet and toes and squareness of build. Our sows live on concrete here at Ottenwater Show Pigs. They've got to be able to kind of withstand that. This one here obviously has done that. She's done well. She's had some good pigs for us. Bred to American Gangster should be a textbook mating as far as complementary. He should add a little extension up front. She should maintain the moderation of frame, center body, and bone.
Yeah, you mentioned that they just live on concrete back there, and she's just another one. Bull Loney, she's one of the better ones. When I went through them this summer, I'll guarantee it, like this one hits me pretty hard. For a gilt that's got, or a sow that's got a little age, I still say she's kind of in the prime of her life. You listen to Russell talk about some of these better sows here that have stayed 9, 10, 11, 12 parodies. This one's on her 4th one, and still looks like that. She's got a giant arm, a big front foot, really good rear leg laid into her. I think another one, and then again, out of that 142, that Jack Daniels sow only adds to her value. I really like that gilt there, or that sow, 176-1.
This is 2015. She's listed as lot 21 there on Show Pig, and if you've seen some of our promotions and advertisements and stuff we've put up on Facebook, this one's made a lot of those. Zach Lear does our photography. He does a great job, and he's very easy to tell when he likes a pig. I actually held the pan this time. I'm proud of myself. If you like the photos, I was standing in all those photos holding the pan. Hadn't done that in quite a while. I thought it was good for my back and good for my general exercise. But at any rate, I'm holding the pan on this one, and he got a photo of her in about 5 seconds, and then he just started moving everywhere because she's so photogenic. Very, very easy female to fall in love with, and it just from a phenotypic standpoint, and she always has been very attractive. Again, she's 2015. Her pedigree is out of line, up down 133.8. Obviously, out of line made a big impact for our program. We're actually selling some out of line clone semen here in Tuesday's online sale. Which is a unique opportunity. But, out of line did such a good job of making kind of up-fronted, sharp-fronted pigs that had a ton of muscle and shape, and they almost always typically had a big pin set. And this one really, really exemplifies that. He made that neat color pattern that she's got there, just that cool silver blue color pattern. Her mom was a sow. I wish we had records on how productive she was. She was a truly productive sow. She was up down 133.8. She was actually the one sow that was a mistake that we actually loaded, and it was myself that did it. We were loading sows to go to the coal barn one day, and I was just not paying attention, and I loaded her up, and about 3 hours later I realized, whoops, that is not the right sow. But she was a sow that did a very good job for us. I think she had 2-3 litters. And then we accidentally shipped her, and I'll never forget the day that I did that. And then, of course, this litter that this one was out of, I think, was in the nursery at the time. And this one winds up being a very, very successful show gilt for Maya Slay. Turns around, is a very successful sow for us here. She has a daughter out of Silver Bullet that's notches 182.6 that's going to carry her legacy for us here after we sell this one. That looks very similar to her, and we're happy with. But, again, bred to different league 26, due date 12/13, and, again, her notch 2015.
Yeah, I was waiting for this one to come in. Again, one of those that the pedigree alone just speaks for itself, and then the picture of her was really good. And, Russell, they say when you go to the backdrop, if you look around the building here, you've been to the backdrop a time or two, great ones picture in just 2 seconds. That's what he did, right? Like this gilt right here, this sow, if you can't see her balance, her presence, her proportions, her build, where her tail sets up there and the way she utilizes her hind leg, I bet she probably never takes a bad step, probably never takes a bad picture. I think one that just looks like a female that can just make bears, she can make boars, she can make gilts. She's bred there for the middle part of December in the heat there. If you're watching online, if you're very interested, reach out to me. I'll tell you really what I think about her, but I like that one a great deal. Again, the really nice blue-belted one here.
So in the ring now, 67.8. If you're following on Show Pick, she's listed as lot 18. She is a hands to yourself, lock it up 34.3. So she'd actually probably be one of the only hands to yourself daughters that we've got. I think we maybe have one or two others, stacked back in there. But she'd be a rare opportunity at a hands to yourself daughter. She's one of the older sows we're offering. She's on her 5th parity, so she's had 4 litters for us. And, we tried hard this year, to offer very, very young females. Most of them throughout the sale, as you've seen, are gilts truly carrying their first litter. There's a handful that are pretty young. This one here, I say she's older. I think she's probably got quite a few litters left in her. If we want, her new owner wants to have quite a few litters out of her. But this one here, I would say you want to watch. Don't miss this one. She's maybe doesn't have one of the more impressive photos. I think she photoed fine. I think it's a good representation of what she is. But she's one that can get overlooked a bit. She's bred to different leagues 61. She's going to have a very, very nice litter of pigs. Almost guarantee these different league 61s will be very, very easy to sell. If she were to stay here, just farrow the litter, I almost guarantee we'd have one or two of them in our would be our probably our February sale. They would be in if she were to stay here. So certainly the kind that obviously has done well for us. If you go ahead and read her little description write-up I made there, she has averaged 10.4 born and 9 weaned over those 4 litters that she's given us. So again, made it to different league 61. I think can turn you a pretty quick profit here.
Yeah, agreed. And I think sometimes we get all wound up on bred gilts, and then we have issues sometimes with bred gilts and getting pigs out of them. We got a sow that's coming with her 5th parity. There's not going to be any issues. She's going to lay down. She's going to have you 10 or 12 of them because that's what she's done. And then bred to DL61. I think, again, quality show pigs, her build, her proportions, very, very good. I love her hip and hind leg, the way she utilizes it there. I think another one, don't miss her, as Russell says, 67-8.
This is lot 16 listed on the Show Pig site. Her notch is 53.6, and a lot of folks that have texted me today asking about the females in the sale, asking what some of my favorites are. This one's been on a lot of those texts. I think this is one of my favorites, and it's so hard to just, what are your favorites? Well, shoot, it depends what you're looking for, depends what you're wanting. This one, when I think favorites, I think exciting, something that can be exciting. I think this one is exciting from the standpoint that she can make some really nice light cross pigs. She's due right in the heart of December there, kind of prime time for, about any show in the country. And I think she's made it really, really well and made it to a boar that can probably make some females that someone can keep, and at the same time, the barrows should prove valuable and should prove competitive. She's sired by Sunset. We've talked about him. He's the board. Kurt Morgan's there. He's got that pair of boars, Sunset and Sunrise. I don't think Kurt ever got a photo with Sunset. He has a very nice photo of Sunrise. If you go to his Facebook page, it's the best spot to view the photos of those boars. Sunset, he always told me, I said, what's the difference between those two boars? He says Sunset's a little sharper fronted, otherwise they're exactly the same. So that's what the sire side is. There's actually a good photo of this one in her description of her mom, American Spirit 41.8. That's a very, very impressive sow. The American Spirit sows have been extremely good sows for us. They're actually have some really good staying power. We've got quite a few of them within the herd. If you looked at how many winners we've raised here last 2-3 years out of American Spirit daughters, it would probably be more than any other sire on the bottom side. This one's mom is a very, very impressive female to look at. Again, she just looks like a female. And I guess I'd tell you this one's had 1 litter. She's carrying litter number 2. That litter was sired by Family Man, and we sold them in our April 26th sale. And if you click on her deal there, you can see the 3 barrows we sold. They sold for $72.50, $25.50, and $21.50. So in raising that litter, she had 10 pigs. She weaned all 10 for a 100-pound weaning weight as a gilt litter. And then we went ahead and sold 3 of them there for about $12,000 out of those top selling 3. She can absolutely turn around and make you a nice profit, and again, I think one of those no-brainer kind of females.
Yep, agreed. And again, we've seen a lot of those sunset and sunrise come through, and this one's a little different than most of them. This one hits me a little boxier, a little more moderate in terms of her build. She's a little more opened up as she comes right at you. And then again, being the second litter sow, she's due there to the middle of December. She looks like she's got a great big litter in her. And as you just heard Russell say, she had 10 in her first one, sold $12,000 litter. I think again, going to do the same, especially bred to a different league 26.
$16.10 just came in. This is lot 17. She is sired by Game of Thrones back on Hands to Yourself 253.5. So she's actually another one we fielded a lot of comments on. I think her photo and just her color pattern, kind of cheetah color is what I would call her, is very, very flashy. And then if you actually study her phenotype, the way she's built, I think she's even more impressive. Again, she's 1610. She's listed there as lot 17 on the site, and she is sired by Game of Thrones on Hands to Yourself 253.5. So her mom was sired by Hands to Yourself back on wedding night, back on Kissing Cousins 89.2. We bought that Kissing Cousins 89.2 sow in the exchange. I want to say it's been 4 years ago now, and she was actually Lock It Up's sister. She came from Wintex. She was, I believe, the high-selling female in that event that year. Winds up being a really nice sow for us. We kept several daughters. That wedding night daughter that would be the grandma, this one was probably that wound up being the best one. And then this one was out of, and then the wedding night daughter made it to Hands to Yourself. A couple really, really good barrows in that litter that we sold that year. And then this one winds up being out of that one's daughter. So, or out of that Hands to Yourself daughter. This sow has had one litter. And they were extremely good pigs. She farrowed 8. We put a couple on her as transfers, and she winds up raising 10. She's made it to different league 26, and she's due on December 12th. Should be some very, very nice pigs in that litter, and obviously female that's got a lot of life ahead of her and could be extremely valuable to your operation.
Yep, agreed. This cheetah one, or polka dot one as I call her, comes in. Boy, she ought to hit you pretty hard. I think her picture was good, but in person she's even better. I think it doesn't matter whether she's white, she's black, she's blue, she's belted, she's this color, calico. It doesn't matter. When they're built like that, they're very, very good. Shape to her arm is good. It's very impressive, and I wish that there was more of you here that you could see her and get right up on top of her and see the shape to her upper rib cage, the shape to her back, the length of hip, and then that view going away is about as ideal as they get, and especially for a gilt or a sow that's got maybe a little more age on her than some that we've seen. Not a whole lot of age, but again, one that's a little more mature. You can't find them built like that as she goes away. That's a very impressive one. Her pedigree is very, very good, and then bred to another of those different league boars. I think return on investment's very, very good.
Lot 22 listed on Show Pig. Ear notch 125.5 just came in. And she is Game of Thrones back on BR64-1 100-4. So again, ear notch here, 125.5. If you're on Show Pig, scroll down to lot 22 and you'll find her. Game of Thrones BR64-1 100-4. I've told a lot of folks today who have reached out not to miss this one. I think just with us having so many really good mid-December, bred female options, don't want to see this one get lost in the mix because she's a really good young sow that has a line bred pedigree, has a good phenotype as far as just being complete and stout and just the right kind to make winners. This one here can absolutely be a really good investment and absolutely love the way she's mated. If you can't tell, the different League 112-1's kind of been one of my favorites. I love the whole litter. We honestly need to use 112-8 more. But 112-1's seen the most use. He's kind of always been my favorite. He's just a real sharp-fronted boar. He's moderate, has a lot of muscle. These different League 112s probably have more muscle than your average boar will that you'll see anywhere at boar stud. It's just bred into them. I really expect this litter to be just a really big hit for their new owner. Pedigree on the bottom, again, I said different league, 64-1 100-4. That mama is a really big rib, moderate frame sow. She's similarly designed to what this one is, probably a little thicker, just a kind of a real wide-centered little female. Like I said, very line bred. She's a BR64-1, straight survivor, shooter, perfect remedy, black attack. So good female here, lot 22 listed on Show Pig, 125.5.
Yeah, again, another one of those that, like I talked about some of them before, like just won't get you in the ditch. She's just very safe, very correct, very comfortable. She's got a good look, good build, good presence to her. And then again, bred to that 112-1 boar only adds to her value. Again, like Russell said, don't miss this one. Again, 125.5.
$27.6 just came in, and she's listed as lot 14 there on Show Pig. She is heavy hitter, hands to yourself, 151.6. So I'll say that again is 27.6 as her notch. Pedigree, heavy hitter, hands to yourself, 151.6. Heavy hitter daughter, we're going to go ahead and turn loose of. Like I've mentioned before, these heavy hitter daughters we think are going to be very valuable. We've got several of them because we used him so hard there 2 summers ago. Have just had a plethora of litters, and honestly, he got bred to a lot of our better females, and so he winds up being, the sire on the dam side of a lot of our better stuff. This one, is probably as colorful of any of them as far as the heavy hitters goes, but if you study your phenotype, they're all very similar. They have a lot of muscle. They have just a lot of power and bone, and they come in that kind of moderate frame size with that kind of just neat looking front end. Again, heavy hitter is a tricked out son. When I saw him at Laird's, we saw lots of boars that day. I remember that day very clearly. They ran a ton of young boars at you. One of them was Buckle Up. There was 2. The Extreme was in there. There was quite a few impressive boars, and a heavy hitter came out, and he was the one that kind of struck me. And I was actually there with Dustin, that worked for us at the time and still works with us, and we go through those. We're going through boars on the way after, and he had completely missed that boar, and it kind of made me just think back. Oh shoot, what did I miss on that boar? But there's so much to see there when you see those young boars, and that guy just really hit me. And then I studied his pedigree, and I realized, he's out of a never before sow. So there was actually 2 shots of that never before in heavy hitter, and I put a lot of faith in using that boar. And we'll see where it gets us. But one fun fact on this one, a heavy hitter being a double bred never before. This one's out of a hands to yourself sow, Well, Hands to Yourself was sired by Never Before. So there's actually quite a bit of Never Before in there. That Never Before is was a very valuable boar. I think most people in the industry are seeing that now. That boar's daughters have absolutely been dominant. There's 3 shots in this one. She comes with a lot of power, and she's bred to Different League 26, who's my favorite of our young boar crop, and the one we use the most confident this go-round. 27-6.
Yeah, again, another heavy hitter daughter. This is the second one of those we've seen, and they're very, very similar. They have look, they have shape, they have build, they have comfort level. I think what's different about this one, she's got the Hands to Yourself mama, which you just heard Russell talk about, and you said earlier that's a litter mate to end game, which again ought to add some value. I think pedigree alone, she's very, very valuable. You look at her, she's very striking. She, again, has one of those rear views that's very, very impressive in terms of her squareness, build, shape to her hind legs. Very, very good. I really like 27-6.
This next female coming in here is actually our last Ottenwalder consignment, and then after this we'll show you the Small Town Genetics consignment to our sale. But this is 24-5. If you're following along on Show Pigs, she's lot 19, and she's a unique opportunity. This 24 litter was absolutely phenomenal. They were born in August of 23. Would have been the same summer we used Heavy Hitter so hard. We also did use Buckle Up pretty darn hard, and truth be told, we have a ton of really good Buckle Up daughters. These 24s are out of May We All 224-9. We wind up with 4 daughters out of that litter, and this is one of them. We are going to go ahead and continue to run with the others, but we've elected to cut this one loose. And if you want the reason why, it's really not much other than she's calico, and we're really trying to kind of cut back on that color there. It's something we fight quite a bit. We make a lot of great calico pigs, and we've got to make more great belted pigs, and that's just part of the business. It's decisions we're making here. This one is bred to Different League 112-1. I think should be an absolutely textbook mating. Like we've talked on these May We All 224s, I guess I'll reiterate that one more time. So May We All 224-9 is the mom here. She's a litter mate to the Grand Guild at CYE in 21. We have more daughters out of 224-9 than we do out of the other 224s. They all kind of look like this. They're bigger. They are huge-bodied. They are stout, hairy, and they generate extremely well. Productivity on that 224-9, absolutely incredible. I don't know if I included it on this one's description, but it's rivals the best in our entire program as far as pigs born and pigs weaned. That's Mama's stats. Again, sire here, Buckle Up. This one bred to Different League 112-1, and we honestly probably shouldn't sell her. That 24 litter's been so good, but another unique opportunity here. She's due right there in the middle of December. Should be a valuable litter.
Probably a reason why you left her to be the last one of your consignments to come in here for the preview. We've talked tonight a lot about those 224s on the south side being a lone or a known Buckle Up daughter. Just adds to her value. You can see her here. There's not much more needs to be said other than it will just be interesting just to see who owns her tomorrow.
If you'll bear with us one moment, we got to get this sow out of another barn, so she's coming here yet. And one thing I wanted to mention real quick while we're kind of waiting for this final lot, there's no fluff on these sows. I think that's probably been pretty evident if you've been studying here. We put them in the chip barn here this morning, so we're in the sale pavilion here at Out and Water Show Pigs. We're fortunate that now it is November, and we have no pigs in the chip barn, and so the chip barn that's attached to the sale barn here has got our sows in it. We put them in here this morning. They've been out in their cement pens. They have not had any special care that any other female on the sow herd hasn't had. And so just keep that in mind. There's a lot of folks out there, a lot of firms out there selling stuff, and they do a great job of it, of promoting and marketing, and that's something we need to do probably a little better on our end. But just realize these are real. They're about as real as they get as far as the conditions they're in, and after the sale tomorrow, the ones that don't leave the farm immediately are going to probably go right back to the sow pens. So that's just the way we're doing it here. And with that, in comes James's consignment, and I'll let him talk about her.
Well, I appreciate the invite, Russell and Walter Firm, and obviously we've been good friends for a long time. And when Russell said he wanted to maybe have us here, not only to auctioneer, but to bring a female in, we took special pride in doing that. And the 86-1 spot sow that we have here, she is out of the heart of our herd, and we always talk about ones that are hard to let go. But when you bring one to an event of this caliber, you want to make sure it's something special and something good. And as far as accolades, this 86-1 I think is as decorated as you can be. She herself, she was only shown twice. She was shown at State Fair and CYE back in 2023, and she was a champion spot gilt at both of those venues. In 24 and 25, she's generated the champion spot barrow at California State Fair, and this year in 25, she also generated the champion spot barrow at CYE. In her first two parodies is what we're talking about, because her third parody is Young Pigs. She has it's online. I don't need to read them all, but she has certainly made lots of champions out there at multiple places in the jackpot scene, in the county fair scene, and then obviously those things we've talked about. So her mom derived from the Bratton herd, and that Sure Thing sow, if you go back to spot pedigrees, it's just rich and deep with quality there. The Colossus boar, I believe, was a Yanis boar that was at Upper Hand Genetics for a while, and one we used hard, and just so good at putting like design and balance, big blades, big forearms, way ahead of the time when we were talking about hair and shag and those type of things. And you just look at this sow. She's had three parodies. I talked about her first two. There's a gilt that's coming out of her third parody that you're going to see a lot of. She's bred to the Waxahachie boar, which is at Gary Todd Show Pigs. We have had our first Waxahachie's at the farm, and those things are very, very good. I think that boar's going to win a lot of shows and do very well, not only what he looks like visually, but what the pigs we have seen from the couple litters we've had. And obviously Gary is very, very high on those. I think this is a no miss mating. This sow has done very, very well in her tenure at our place. Again, a hard one to let go, but if you're looking to lay in a spot female that was a champion in her day and every litter has generated, and I think continue to do so, due January 29th, I believe, off the top of my head. And I think a sow, they were talking about a spot sow, design, build, feet and legs. Nemecek here will tell you a little more about her.
Yeah, it's so hard to get a show gilt that wins and then let them generate. A lot of times it's the ugly sister that generates, but you just heard James talk about she won both shows she went to. First two litters, she's generated the state fair winners. It's got something on the ground here that's probably going to do some winning, and regardless of what she's made it to, I think they're just going to be good. It's so hard to find, not even a spot, just the sows that are built like this. This one came in, and I'm very, very, very intrigued. Her looseness, her comfort level, her build, her proportion, and for this breed, she acts like she has a brain. Like she hadn't squalled, she's not fighting, she's just that's valuable in its own right there. No jokes aside, but I think one that has tremendous value, tremendous upside in the prime of her life, get in here on this spot gilt.
With that brings to the conclusion of all of our females here for our online preview. Want to remind you the sale tomorrow is at 1 o'clock California time. That's 4 Eastern, 3 if you're in the central time zone. We will do a preview here tomorrow. We welcome anyone that's local or close or wants to come. It's at 10. It will not be broadcast. We will post this to, obviously, the Facebook page. You can rewatch it. And again, the auction starts at 1. We have 37 lots, and we expect it to probably be over about 2:30 or so California time. If you have any questions at all, my number, Jeff Nemecek's number, I believe James Backman and Blake Kennedy's numbers are also listed. Please reach out to all of us, and we're more than happy